Good morning. This lesson is for my Integrated 1 classes, but before I get started, I want to say I hope that everyone's doing all right out there. I'm not sure how I'm going to title this lesson, but I'm going to tell it how I title it in the title. But what I am sure of is that we're going to go over our Unit 1 test for my Integrated 1 class. So let me go ahead and jump right into this. Remember, this is about solving equations using the 6 steps to solve. I'm going to write 1 through 6 next to every problem, reminding me to check each step. If I can do it, I can do it. If not, I move on. And remember that these steps were created to answer the question for a student that I had many years ago. How do I know what to do first? How do I know what to do next? All right, so let's just jump right in and solve and check these things. So the directions are solve for x and check. And again, I'm going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 next to every problem. And I'll highlight the steps with blue, so it's a little bit more clear what I'm doing. All right, step 1, can I eliminate fractions by multiplying everyone by the denominator? No, I cannot, because there's no fractions. Step 2, can I distribute? Meaning I have parentheses. There's no parentheses, so I cannot do step 2. Step 3, can I combine like terms on each side of the equal sign? I cannot combine these, so I cannot do step 3 on the left side, and there's no one to combine with the 5 on the right, so I cannot do step 3. Step 4, get all variables to one side of the equal sign using addition or subtraction. All my x's are on the left side of the equal sign, so I don't need to do step 4. Step 5, can I add or subtract away a number from the variable side of the equal sign? I have 2 numbers on the variable side of the equal sign, but one of them has a plus between it. The 7 has a plus between it and the variable. That's the clue that I can do step 5. So I have a positive 7, so I'm going to subtract the 7 from both sides. Okay, make sure you're doing 1 on each side. You have to keep that equation balanced here. The 7s on the left cancel out. I'm left with a 2x. And if I have 5, I owe 7. That means that I owe 2. I owe more than I have. All right, step 6. I know that I have to do step 6 because there's still a number with a variable, and that's the number I'm going to have to divide away. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And the 2's on the left cancel. 2 goes into negative 2, negative 1 time. Remember that a negative divided by a positive is a negative. And so I get my answer as x equals to negative 1. Now we need to check. And so in order to check, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the original equation below. And instead of an x, I'm going to replace the location of an x with an empty parenthesis. And I'm going to work my way through the problem until there's nothing I can't do. Well, nothing I can do. I'm going to plug in the negative 1 in the parentheses. 2 negative 1s is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 7 is equal to 5. I owe 2, I have 7. That means I still have 5. And 5 equals 5. That's true. So that means that I have a solution. And again, half of the score for the test is the checking, so I need to see that. I am giving partial credit for going as far as you can. All right, problem number 2. Problem number 2. Again, I'm going to write 1 through 6, reminding myself to check the 6 steps to solve so I know what to do first and I know what to do next. Can I eliminate fractions on this problem? No, I cannot. Do I have parentheses in this problem? No, I do not, so I can't distribute. Is there anyone to combine on the left side with my negative 4x? Nope. Anyone to combine on my right side with my negative 12? Nope. Are all my x's on one side? Yep, so I can't do step 4. Do I have a plus or minus between the number and the variable? No, I do not. That minus is not between it. There's nothing between it. So that means that this problem is only step 6. And by the way, I forgot to check that step 6. So I need to divide. Now, in grading this test, I saw people do this. This is going to be wrong because you're not dividing away the number. The number is negative 4, so make sure that you're including that. If you did put the 4, you knew what step to do, you just forgot the negative. So those 4's divide themselves out, and x is equal to a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and I need 3 4's to go into 12. So there's my answer, x equals 3. And again, when I check, I'm going to write my original equation. I already messed up, I didn't put blue. I'll write my original equation and replace the x with parentheses. And plug in what I got, and make sure I write the correct original equation. And I plug in my negative or my positive 3, that's my answer, I have a negative times a positive. Remember, a negative times a positive is a negative. Negative 4 times 3 is going to get me to negative 12 equals to negative 12. So that's what I needed to see for problem number 2. All right, problem number 3. I'm going to go ahead and write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this is going to remind me to go through the steps. Do I have parentheses? No, I do not. I'm sorry, do I have fractions? No, I do not. But I have parentheses, so I can distribute. So this is going to be 2 times x and 2 times negative 5. 2 times x gets me 2x, and 2 negative 5s gets me negative 10. And that's still equal to negative 10. Can I combine like terms on the left side? Nope. On the right side? Nope. Are all my x's on one side? They are, so I can't do that. Do I have a number on the variable side of the equal sign that has a plus or minus between it and the x? I do. The 10 has a minus between it and the x, so I can do step 5, and I'm going to add a 10 to both sides. That cancels out, which technically becomes 0. This is now 2x equals, now this also becomes 0. I'm not going to cancel out, but 2x equals 0. And I need to do my last step, which is to divide away the 2. And x equals 2 into 0 means 0. You have nothing to share with 2 people, then each person gets nothing. Now let's go ahead and check this. And again, I write my original equation, and I replace the x with a parenthesis. So it's 2 parenthesis parenthesis minus 5 equals minus 10. So in here goes my answer, and I'm just, I can use the steps that I used to solve. I can distribute. Okay, that's going to give me 2 times 0, that's 0. 2 negative 5s is negative 10, and that equals to negative 10. You have nothing, you owe 10. That means you still owe 10, and owing 10 is the same as owing 10, and that is true. So that's the first 3 problems of the 9 problems of the test. So again, I'm just using my 6 steps to work my way through, and I'm checking. So this is what I'm looking for, the checking. Let me clean this up, write the next 3 problems, and I'll be back. I'm back, so let's go ahead and continue with going over our first version of the Unit 1 test. And again, we're solving for x, and we're checking. We're working on problems 4, 5, and 6. And let's go ahead and jump right into problem 4. Again, I'm going to write my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 next to each problem. So it reminds me that I can go through my steps to answer the question that I had from a student a long time ago. How do I know what to do first? How do I know what to do next? All right, so problem number 4, do I have fractions that I can eliminate by multiplying everyone by the denominator? No, I do not. Do I have parentheses so I can distribute? No, I do not. Can I combine like terms on each side of the equal sign? With this one, I can. Yeah. I can put together 4x and 2x, and that gets me to 6x. And 6x is equal to 18. Notice I just put them together as they are. I didn't change the signs. You change the signs when you're moving them to the other side of the equal sign by adding or subtracting. All right. Step 4. Can I get all variables to one side of the equal sign using addition or subtraction? No, because they're all on the left, so I can't do step 4. Step 5. Can I add or subtract away a number from the variable side of the equal sign? Do I have anything between there, a plus or a minus? No, I do not. I don't have a plus or minus between the number and the variable, so I can't do step 5, which means I must do step 6, and that's divide away the 6. So that means that x is going to equal to, I need 6 goes into 18 3 times. I need 6 3s to get to 18. So my answer is x equals 6. And again, when I check, I'm going to take my original equation, and I'm going to replace the x's with parentheses. This equation has 2 parentheses, because I have 2 x's. So that x becomes a parenthesis, this x becomes a parenthesis, and that's equal to 18. And inside each parenthesis goes a 3, which is my answer, and I just worked this out. 2 3s is 6, 4 3s is 12, and 6 and 12 get me to 18, and 18 equals to 18. That's true. So I have the correct answer for that problem. All right? That's what I'm looking for in number 4. Number 5. Again, I'm going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to indicate I'm using my 6 steps to solve. And let's just go through. Do I have fractions that I need to eliminate by multiplying everyone by the denominator? No, I do not. Step 2, do I have parentheses so I can distribute? No, I do not. Can I combine like terms on the left side? There's no one to combine with the 2x. On the right side, I can't put those together because they're not like terms, so I can't do step 3. But I can get all variables to one side because I have variables on the left and variables on the right. So I am going to do step 4, and I need to use addition or subtraction. So just like I do step 5, I do this same math for step 4. And since I have a positive 4x, I'm going to subtract 4x to both sides. That cancels on the right. I have 2, I owe 4, that means I owe 2. Minus 2x equals 14. Can I add or subtract away a number from the variable side? No, I cannot, because there's not a plus or minus between the number and the variable. There's nothing in there. But I can divide out the negative 2. And again, make sure you're dividing by the entire number. Again, I had some of us who got to here correctly but didn't divide by negative 2. Those cancel out. I have a positive being divided by a negative, and that's going to give me a negative, and x equals to negative 7. All right, so again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite my equation, and I'm going to replace the x's with parentheses. So the 2 parentheses equals 4 parentheses plus 14, and inside each parenthesis I put my answer, and that's negative 7. 2 negative 7s is negative 14. 4 negative 7s is negative 28, and that's adding to 14. So I'm trying to think of nothing's happening. Now I'm going to put together negative 28 and 14. I owe 28, I have 14. That means that I still owe 14. I was really trying to think and nothing was happening. Alright, so that is true, and that means that I have a solution. So that's what I'm looking for on problem 5, and now on the problem 6. Let me write my steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Step 1, can I eliminate a fraction? Yes, I can. I have a fraction, so I am doing step 1. So I'm going to write a 3 next to the 5 and a 3 next to the 10 because I'm multiplying everyone by the denominator. What happens on the left, those cancel out, and I'm left with 5x. A couple of you wrote 15. They can't have 15 because it canceled. It either cancels or multiplies. 10 threes is 30. There you go. Can I distribute? Nope. Can I combine like terms on the left? No. On the right? No. All my x's are on the left, so I can't do that. There's no plus or minus between the 5 and the x, so that means that I have to divide away the 5. So divide both sides by 5. That cancels out. That means x is going to be equal to 6. I need 6 5s to get to 30. And again, let's check. We're checking our original. So I write the original equation and replace the x's with parentheses. So this now becomes 5 parentheses over 3 is equal to 10, and in the parentheses goes a 6. I've seen students do this, and I think this is totally fine to check. They eliminate the fractions first. That's actually a really slick move because you're making the problem nicer. Now you have 5 times 6 equal to 30. 5 times 6 is 30, and that's equal to 30. Now you could have done that multiplication right here. That would have been fine. I would have understood what you did. But again, I'm using my 6 steps. It's guiding me through the problems, and then I'm checking. I rewrite the original with parentheses instead of x's, parentheses instead of x's, parentheses instead of x's, plug in my answers, and simplify it all the way. So this is problems 4, 5, and 6. We have one more section for me to go through. It's 7, 8, 9. So let me clean this up, and I'll be back. I'm back for the last time, I promise. So let's go ahead and work through the last 3 problems of this test so you can see what I'm looking for in these problems, okay? Problem number 7, again, I'm going to write my 6 steps down and it'll guide me through the process here. Okay, can I do step 1? Do I have fractions that I need to eliminate by multiplying everyone by the denominator? I do. So I'm going to write, now notice the denominator is the same, and so when I multiply through by a 3, what's going to end up happening is both fractions are going to cancel out. So that cancels out, I'm left with an x. That cancels out, I'm left with a 7, and that's equal to a 6. This problem becomes a very easy problem very quickly. Hopefully you see that and you buy into it. Step 2, do I have parentheses? No, I do not. Can I combine like terms? Nope and nope. All my x's are on the left, so I can't get all variables to one side. Do I have a plus or minus between a number and a variable on the variable side of the equal sign? I do. So I can get rid of that 7. Make sure I wrote down this problem correctly. Oh, it's minus 7. Okay, let me switch that real quick so I don't have to refilm this. So it's minus and minus. All right. So I can, I have a minus between the 7 and the x. So I can get rid of that minus 7 by adding it to both sides. That cancels out on the left, and x is equal to 13. All right, so I've got my x by itself, and now I'm going to plug that back into my original problem and replace all the x's with parentheses and write everything else as it is. All right, and inside my parenthesis goes my answer. So that's going to be a 13 inside there. All right, so I can eliminate a fraction, so let's do what we did when we solved it and multiply everyone by 3. And what's nice is that cancels out, and now we're left with 13 minus 7 is equal to 6. 13 minus 7, that's 6, and 6 equals 6, so that's true. So x equals 13 is our solution. So hopefully you understood how I used my steps on that one. And again, notice the same denominator needed to do that step once. The next problem, number 8, let me write my 1 through 6. Now notice we have different denominators. And for this problem, what I recommend you doing is I recommend that you cover up one of the denominators and go through the first step twice, right? Wash, rinse, repeat. So we're going to do the first step with a 2. So a 2 goes here, a 2 goes there, and a 2 goes here. Alrighty, so those 2 cancel. So I'm left with an x plus a 2x, and that's equal to a 14. Now, remember I was covering up something that was covering up a 5. Now I'm going to do step 1 again. Wash, rinse, repeat. This time I'm going to multiply everyone by 5. Alright, so this becomes 5x. These 5 cancel. I have 2x, so 5x plus 2x, and that equals to 14 times 5. That gives me a 0. Carry the 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 more, that's 70. So that's going to be equal to 70. Can I distribute? Nope. Can I combine like terms on each side of the equal sign? Yeah. This is looking a lot like problem 4, I believe, right? So 5x and 2x, now that gives me the 7x, and that's equal to 70. Are all my x's on one side? Yep, can't do that. Can I add or subtract away a number from the variable side? Nope, because there's no plus or minus between that. So that means that I must do the last step, and that is to divide. Divide by 7, not by 2. Divide by 7. Still trying to think of nothing's happening. So that means x equals to 7 goes into 70 10 times. And now I need to check this. All right. So again, I'm going to write my original problem, but without x's, I'm going to put parentheses in its place. Now there's multiple ways to check this one. And I hope that you take the time to look at the numbers that you have, because if you look at them, you realize that you don't have to eliminate the fractions, they're going to eliminate themselves. Over here, 3 didn't make 13 go away, and 7 didn't make that go away. Or 3 didn't make that 7 go away. But here, I need 5 2's to get into a 10. So this turns into a 5. I need 2 5's to turn into a 10, so that turns into a 2. And does that equal 7? Well, 5 and 2 is 7, and that equals 7. That's true. So this one, the fraction divided itself out. Okay, so just, take some time, see what you have, and make sure you understand how you're working through it. I want to make sure I'm not going to move off the whiteboard here. I hate when I have to re-record these things. All right. Last problem. And I'm going to try and keep this a little tighter because this is actually a longer problem. All right. Do I have fractions to eliminate? Nope. Can I distribute? Yep. So here I get 15x plus 6 minus 2x equals, that's not very good, x, I don't know what that was, equals negative 20. Can I combine like terms on each side of the equal sign? Yeah, I can actually in this one. I can put together my 15x and I can take two of those x's away, which means we're going to be left with 13x plus 6 is equal to negative 20. Are all my x's on one side? Yeah. So I can't do step 4. But I have a number on the variable side that has a plus between it and the variable, so I can actually subtract away the 6. So that cancels out. I have 13x drops down. I owe you 20. I owe you 6 more. You're going to tell me that I owe you 26, and I have to do the last step, which is to divide. Let's see here. I can do this. Okay, so we're going to divide both sides by 13. Here I have a negative being divided by a positive, so it's going to be a negative. And x will be equal to negative 2. Alright, so let's check this in the original. So this is going to be a little bit longer of a check because there's more pieces to this puzzle. But again, it's just replace the x's with parentheses. So 3 parentheses, 5 parentheses, because there was an x there, plus 2. Minus 2 with another parenthesis, and that equals to negative 20. Alright, and in the parentheses goes the minus 2 and the minus 2. So let's deal with these two multiplications first. And now we get 3 times negative 10 plus 2. Minus minus becomes a plus 4, and that equals negative 20. We're going to distribute now. 3 negative 10s is negative 30. 3 times positive 2 is a plus 6, and we're going to add our 4, and that equals negative 20. You owe 30, you can pay 6, so that means you owe 24. Minus 24 plus 4 equals negative 20. You owe 24, you can pay 4, that means that you owe 20, and that equals negative 20. That is true. Alrighty. So this is the Unit 1 test, and again, when I give you this new version of the Unit 1 test, it's going to be the same concept. So, for example, problem 7 on the redo will be steps 1 and step 5. Problem 8 will be 2 step 1s, 1 step 3, and 1 step 6. Problem 9 will be step 2, step 3, step 5, step 6. I'm only testing you on the steps. So please get used to seeing what these look like, alright? So I know in class we didn't have time to go over the whole test, so this is why I'm making this video, so you can go back and review it, and hopefully this does help some of you, or if not all of you. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here. Again, I hope everyone is doing all right out there. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.